Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the star line by a content manager, author, blogger, and personal finance guy. She went from spending her time in nightclubs, searching for fashion, to completely debt-free. Her latest book is Financial First Aid. We welcome Alyssa Davies.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Alyssa, let's go beyond the mic. How did your own bad habits force you into changing yourself into a Canadian financial superstar?
It's a great question, and it's actually quite ironic. I actually landed my first job at a debt consolidation organization. And so when I started my training and had to sit in on calls with people learning how to take control of their debt, I quickly realized that I was our client. And so I went home that night and I did what a lot of us do. I started to Google, how do I get out of debt? And I fell into this world of personal finance and into this community of people that started this journey of being really accountable and taking my finances a lot more seriously.
Alyssa, what's the biggest mistake people make with their finances? Is it just those simple little things that kill families from financial success?
Yeah, and I completely agree. Well, first of all, I think one mistake is not realizing that it's okay to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes with their money. You're not the only one in that situation. But also just we are so inept to avoid looking at our finances and just rejecting the idea that there are things happening with our money that we don't want to face. And so I think that one mistake a lot of us make is just not actually knowing how much we're spending every single month and how much is coming in every single month.
In Financial First Aid, you talk about the basics, including home ownership, wills, to setting up a basic emergency fund. What's the one tip that you had to learn yourself first?
Yeah, I think that you just said it right there. We're trying to prepare for the unexpected, but the funny thing is that none of these things that happened are really that unexpected. Things always happen in life that kind of push us into a corner, whether it's your car breaking down, you lose your job tomorrow, or, you have a medical emergency that you cannot avoid. And so for me, it was learning that I need a backup plan for my money. And that was when I started to look into emergency funds, and I started to go beyond the traditional advice of you need one emergency fund with 3 to 6 months of expenses.
I thought this was cool. You paid your own wedding with savings you created for your family. How has your husband supported you on this path?
He's been a great support. But another thing, too, is that in our relationship, we're very equitable. So it's dependent on what income we're earning. I'm actually the higher income earner. So we split our percentages of how we pay the bills based off what income we earn. And that's always how we've been. So when I was the one that was in debt and when I was making less money, he pulled the bigger weight. And we've been flexible in knowing that it's okay to shift and evolve as your relationship evolves.
Now, if someone, Alyssa, is just barely treading water, what's the most important tip they need to do first?
The first thing you need to do is actually get to know how much money you would need if something were to go wrong. And if you don't know, or if you just want some money put away so that you have that protective layer, put $20 a month, if you can, into a high yield savings account to have in those moments of financial emergency. Having just a small amount of money, even if it's $100 to $300, that could cover a tow truck that might be the money you would originally have to put towards the minimum on your credit card. That is going to be what helps you continue to progress in your financial future.
Author of Financial First Aid, Alyssa Davies, joins us beyond the mic, and it's time for the Rocking Aid. 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. There is no pressure. How many miles did you put on your last truck?
Oh my gosh, 100? I barely drive.
Favorite order from Tim Hortons?
Ooh, double and Timbits, of course.
If you could read minds, who would you read first?
Oh, that's such a good one. I guess my husband.
Still can't read them, huh?
Yeah, no, never.
Favorite thing to bake?
Muffins.
What kind of muffins?
Oh, I love chocolate chip muffins.
Nice. What's one thing you've sworn off?
Oh, impulse shopping. I really, really take my time now.
When did you see DeMar DeRozan play a basketball game first?
Oh my gosh. Actually, I think in Phoenix on a family trip when he played for the Raptors.
One thing you will always splurge on?
Lattes. Can't help it.
Worst Christmas movie of all time is?
Actually, Love Actually. It's not that good.
It's time to take a look back at Alyssa's social media. December 27th, 2015, quote, "Is it just me or grocery prices in YYC, otherwise known Calgary, skyrocketing by the day," unquote. Is prices higher back then or now?
Oh my gosh, it's so much worse now. No, if I had known what it was going to look like today, I probably never would have tweeted that.
It's time for One Big Question with author of Financial First Aid, Alyssa Davies, beyond the mic. Alyssa, if someone is listening to this and thinking about the bad situation they are in financially, what can you tell them?
The first thing they need to know is that they're not alone. Everyone is in some sort of financial situation right now. But the second thing is that it's perfectly okay to ask for help. We have lived in a kind of state of financial expertise where we've always led with shame and fear into making us feel like we have to do things a certain way. And I don't think that's the case. I think it's perfectly okay for you to say that you need help and to look at what options exist for you to get ahead financially.
How has the pandemic changed your life?
Significantly. It's made me reassess a lot of things in my life, in my financial situation, in my personal relationships, and honestly, just how I spend money and what I value. And I appreciate that part of the pandemic, to be honest. It's one thing that I'm grateful for. The entire pandemic itself, not grateful at all, but the way that it's made me view a lot of things is really, it's eye-opening.
Where can people find you?
You can find me anywhere on any social media platform at MixUpMoney. And you can head to mixupmoney.com to grab any of the resources that I have. I have a lot of free resources. And of course, you can pick up Financial First Aid at any major book retailer.
She's sworn off impulse shopping, will always splurge on lattes, and thinks Love Actually is the worst Christmas movie ever. Her book is Financial First Aid. We thank Alyssa Davies for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you so much. That was so fun.
We try to be different. And that, my friends, is a Beyond the Mic shortcut.